It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 11th day of October, 2022, coming to you from Bedford County in the Central Virginia area, right outside of Lynchburg. Got a pretty good show this morning, folks. My day started at an unbelievably early hour. I'll get to that in just a second. Today, of course, is Tuesday, Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast. With special guests this morning, Frank Bubba Shumard and his guest, Ivan, the food and beverage manager of the Rotterdam. How about that? The lead story today is popular cruise port reopens. A couple other things we're going to talk about this morning. Carnival, Ecstasy's final scorecard. A historical cruise ship meetup. Attention soccer fans. And Carnival notifies its crew of changes. That and a whole lot more here at 11 o'clock this morning. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, like all the big guys, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. Anytime you are listening to the podcast and want to hop over to the video feed for any clips or interviews or anything like that from me when I'm traveling, or from members of Chillie's Cruises family when they're out sailing the world, you can always go to the description of the podcast and there'll be a link that you can click and jump over to the video feed. You can always come back to the podcast. All right, so I mentioned that my day started real early this morning. At 4:30 a.m. my time, I started an interview. Just a slight bit early. Good morning. My special guest today is our buddy, Frank Bubba Shumard. He's on board the Rotterdam, and Frank has a special guest. Bubba, you want to introduce your guest?
This is Ivan. Ivan is the food and beverage manager aboard the MS Rotterdam for Holland America Lines.
Ivan, I have to ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Rotterdam, Holland America as a whole is known for their fantastic food. How many people does it take to feed the Rotterdam when she's full of guests?
Oh, on board the Rotterdam, we have about a strength of 950 crew team members, and we have in the kitchen, as we call the galley alone, we have like 250 people cooking in the galley.
Very nice. You are getting ready to go on the 150th anniversary of Holland America.
That's correct.
You have any special food things you're doing for the anniversary cruise?
Oh, we're doing a lot of special events on the anniversary cruise out of New York. We have in New York special guests coming on board. We have a whole lineup of events for them. And then all to the cruise, we have special events like wine tastings, food, special dinners, special lunches, special throwback happy hours, wine tastings, plenty of events lined up for them.
Wait. Throwback happy hour. What's that?
It's a throwback happy hour. We're doing a happy hour that is got to do with 150 years old. The prize that we had at 150 years, we're going to feature those prizes in the throwback happy hour. Like a glass of wine will cost you like 75 cents. A beer will cost you like 25 cents. Kind of happy hour.
That's right up my alley.
It might be a rough night for me.
Yeah. Bubba will not feel good the next morning, I promise.
Oh, sure I will.
I am Bubba, you'll appreciate this one. I am looking very seriously. It's not on the Rotterdam, but I'm looking at doing a 73 night next year circumnavigating South America on the Zandam.
Now you got me envying you.
Yeah,
that's
that's on my bucket list.
I got to tell you, last night I was in the Nami Sushi Bar, and John was taking care of me, and he is excellent. And but he kind of made a few little I said, "Are you nervous?" He goes, "Yes, I'm being tested at 8:00 tonight." These kids, and I call them kids because they're so much younger than I am, but the staff, the crew, the officers, everybody has been just over the top on this cruise, and I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed it so far. And we're going to go all the way to New York, down to Lauderdale, and then to the ABC Islands. Hopefully they didn't get hit too hard by the hurricane, but this has been a great cruise so far. Coming off the river cruise, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. All right. I have to ask you this, even though we have Ivan with us this morning. What was the river cruise like? I know how big a fan you are of Holland America and ocean cruises in general. What was the river cruise like for your first experience?
It was good. Good.
Okay.
There's another G word that could be applied, and that's great, but I can't apply that to it. As soon as I saw this great, big, beautiful new ship, I'm home.
Yeah.
And it saw the neatest thing. This ship is less than a year old. And at every port, they've been painting it, keeping it looking beautiful. Yeah. So,
you have to maintain it in and out.
All right, you guys, where are you guys today? You were in Stockholm yesterday, if I remember correctly.
We spent the night.
We spent the night here.
Oh,
we leave today afternoon at 2:45.
Okay.
I woke up coming into Stockholm, and I had no idea it's an archipelago of about 2,400 islands. I had no idea. And I looked out the window, and I thought, my gosh, I'm sailing on my home lake. Here goes an island, and here goes an island. And one of them we passed by literally was within 40 yards.
Wow.
It was so close. Oh, wow.
All right. Now, since Bubba, you're like me, both of us are getting way too old. I have a little problem with cold weather. What's the weather like this time of year in Sweden, Norway?
Right now it's in the 50s.
Yes.
And
not bad.
I put on a sweater for the first time. I got to tell you, I sweat at 50 degrees.
It's a bit chilly.
But had to represent a little bit. I can't see the camera guy.
Yeah, a little Holland America advertising. We don't mind that on this show. We do lots of stuff like that. All right, so you get back to start on the anniversary cruise next week? It starts
on the
15th.
15th of October.
Okay. And then you head your way back home, Bubba.
Doing 5-day transatlantic. USA Today, Eric in public relations had USA Today send him questions, and one of them is, why do you want to do it would be boring and wouldn't be any fun doing a transatlantic. And I said, I got to tell you, on a Holland America ship, if you're having a bad day, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree. Totally agree.
It's, my experiences with Holland America have always been great. Sometimes I like to fuss with the people that price things because I travel solo, and I hate paying the 100% solo supplement. But maybe one day we'll get Holland America to come up with programs for solo travelers.
I understand. My first cruise, I had to take some measures to keep it, but and that wasn't on Holland. And since Lynn and I've been together, it's been nothing but Holland America as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And of course, I've got new bartender buddies and old bartender buddies aboard. They've got the special gin that's only made in Amsterdam, and I can't get it anywhere in the United States. So I'm enjoying my martinis. And last night in the Tamarind, what's her name? Paula made me a wonderful jalapeno margarita. I'd have sworn I was sitting at my home bar in Lynn making it. It was fabulous.
Great. All right. Well, I have to get on with some news here this morning, or my audience is going to shoot me. Ivan and Bubba, thank you so much for doing this. Even if you did get me working a couple hours earlier than normal for me. So
thank you for that.
You guys have a fantastic cruise, and obviously a fantastic celebration cruise on the transatlantic.
Sure.
Thanks, Bubba. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Ivan.
Thank you. You have a great day.
And of course, that was my friend Bubba Shumard. He's been on this channel numerous times, and Ivan, the food and beverage manager on the Rotterdam, which the Rotterdam is, that's on my bucket list now. And I will mention again, I'm seriously looking at something that I could never afford on my own, but talk with my agent, and he said, give me the bucket list. So I put on it to circumnavigate in South America next year. Boy, would that be sweet. All right, real quickly on the weather before we get to the news. There are a couple things just to mention. It's not serious at this point, but something that we do have to follow. In the Caribbean, there is a broad area of low pressure over the Bay of Campeche, producing a large area of showers and thunderstorms. It's got a 60% chance of further formation in the next 48 hours, 60% chance over 5 days. For now, it's going to meander into the Gulf of Mexico. We're just going to have to watch it and see what happens, on what direction it goes. Then on the Pacific side of things, this is actually a leftover from the hurricane that went through and crossed over down in Nicaragua. It's now actually remnants from the storm that's still now over water and has a chance of picking up some strength. So this is actually from Julia remnants. They're calling it 10% over the next 48 hours, 30% over the next 5 days, which that normally is not worth mentioning. However, this has been a major rain event all along, and that is pulling a lot of rain with the circular motion of still from the remnants of Julia, pulling a lot of rain back into Central America and to the southern part of Mexico, which, because of all the rain that they've had there the last couple weeks in total, could cause some significant life-threatening mudslides. So even though this doesn't look like it's going to strengthen back up into even a tropical depression or a tropical storm, it's still dumping enough rain that the folks down there got to be careful. So, all right, I'll be back with today's news after a quick word from one of our network sponsors. Well, it is really nice when you can have a feel-good story on the news show anymore. This is a feel-good story for me. Grand Turk, which has been closed to cruise ships since Hurricane Fiona, caused significant damage to the dock. It's set to reopen today and will welcome its first ship back. While the entire island is not quite ready to serve visitors, guests will be eager to return to Turks and Caicos Islands, and the reopening is essential for the island's economic recovery. Carnival Sunrise is in Grand Turk today. Carnival Mardi Gras and Carnival Freedom come in on Thursday. Carnival Legend, Carnival Spirit, and Carnival Magic all have calls scheduled. The island also has calls scheduled from Celebrity Infinity and the new Staten Dam before the end of the month, with additional visits from Princess and Norwegian later in the year. Hurricane Fiona was a Category 3 storm with 115-mile-an-hour winds when the eye crossed directly over Grand Turk on September 20th. Power outages and cell service disruptions occurred on the island, along with tons of building damage. The dock surface may be the most, with extensions torn off the end of the dock and retaining walls near the beach also damaged. The dock has been sufficiently repaired for cruise ships to safely berth once again, but there will still be challenges for guests. Even 3 weeks after the storm, some areas are still without power and cleanup is ongoing. But Grand Turk is back in business. Congratulations to all those guys. Of course, yesterday's lead story was on the Carnival Ecstasy's final sailing. She sailed right on schedule yesterday afternoon, by the way, with a little over 2,000 passengers on board, including Carnival brand ambassador John Heald. During her 30-year career, Ecstasy had 5.5 million guests on 2,300 cruises. The sad part of the story is only 2 of the 8 original Fantasy-class ships remain in service. Those would be, of course, the Carnival Elation and the Carnival Paradise. I will be on Paradise in a couple weeks now, 3 weeks now, with Cindy, of course. Ecstasy will be replaced next fall by the Carnival Spirit, be a much larger ship sailing out of Mobile. For the first time in Azamara history, the entire fleet got together for a meetup in the small port of Copa, as the Azamara Onward had its maiden call at the port alongside its sister ships Azamara Journey, Azamara Quest, and Azamara Pursuit. The historic event was celebrated by the municipality of Koper at the Praeton Palace, a 15th century Venetian Gothic palace located in Tito Square, where the captains of each ship exchanged plaques in commemoration of the sister encounter. Not familiar with Koper? It's in Slovenia. Just keeping you up with the information, folks. All right. Carnival Cruise Line has sent out a message to all of the crew members on all of the ships. And it says some of the things that Carnival has had to change recently. Just thought I'd run over them with you because I find it somewhat curious, not what they're doing, but what I still think they're not doing. However, here's what they've told the crew members. They're increasing security staffing on all the ships. They're implementing a 1 a.m. curfew for youth 17 years of age and less, of course. Expanding the screening process to identify problematic guests that are sailing. Leveraging drug-sniffing dogs during embarkation. Installing more signage and adding procedures to all guests, requiring all guests to acknowledge the community standards in regard to onboard rules, behavior, and guidelines. Beefing up the response to onboard physical alterations, and also fining those guests with a charge for their activities. We've talked about that before, the $500 charge and costs. Providing additional training for the security team. Now that all sounds good. You know, that's what they're telling the crew. What they're not changing and not telling the crew is that part of the problem is Carnival itself with the expense of the drink packages, the ultimate drink package for Carnival. To make that pay, someone that's sailing has to have 15, 16 drinks a day. And they wonder why people get drunk and get into brawls. Maybe they need to start training their bartenders how to shut people off. Maybe they need to not keep bars open until 5 a.m. Remember, one of the brawls occurred at 5 a.m. in one of the bars, in one of the nightclubs. Close them down at 2 o'clock. So I think Carnival's made some good steps that are great. But I don't think they're actually getting to the heart of the problem that they've had on several ships recently. That's my thought, folks. My opinion. All right, that wraps up the news portion of the day. Let's see who's in the chat room. Goodness, looks like we got a good crowd in the chat room today. Yo, 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 Brooklyn's in the house. Eddie's with us. Eddie, how you feeling? I know you had that shot in your hip yesterday. I hope you're doing well with that. Didn't want to tell you, but I've had numerous shots in my knee. And for the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them that I had, because they won't replace my knee because I'm too fat. So I've had numerous shots in the knee. It did great for the first 5 or 6 times. And then the last 3 or 4 hurt like hell and have done nothing. So what good that does, it gets to the point that it's not so good anymore. But I hope this one was good for you. Cindy's with us. Carol's with us. Eddie says, hi, y'all. He's learning that good Southern stuff, y'all. Like that. Especially from Brooklyn folks. Nikki's with us. Sonny's here down in Mississippi. Hi, Sonny. Hot Air Tom is with us. Says hello to everybody. Oh, there's Jason. Cindy, I've been wandering the streets of Venice all day. Took me forever to find my hotel again. You finally got to Venice. I'm glad to see that you got delayed a little bit getting out of Newark. In case some of you didn't see it. So, Jason, I'm glad you made it to Venice. Definitely keep us posted with everything you're doing over there. I mean, I'll even interview you at 4 a.m. like I did the folks in Stockholm this morning. It was 4:30 actually when we actually started the interview, and I'm pretty sure that Stockholm is 6 hours difference from me. If it's 7, then I was a half hour late getting there. I'm pretty sure it was 6. So we had set it up originally for 11:30 their time, which would have been 5:30 my time, and we did started it considerably before that. But anyway, that was a good interview with Bubba and Ivan. It's nice to be able to chat a little bit with one of the upper level management of a cruise line or cruise ship. Cindy says, let me know the not to miss things there. Oh, I see. Venice. What's that thing on the back of your head? Hot Air Tom wants to know, Jason. Eddie says, Venice, California. No, this is Venice, Italy. He had a 9-hour flight to Italy and then has roamed around the streets of Venice. So he's probably about ready to go to bed. I don't know. Maybe Jason could sleep on airplanes. I never have been able to. How do you like it there, Sonny wants to know. I'll probably fall in the canal knowing my luck this trip. What happened to your hair, Hot Air Tom? So many people here are like 100 places to try pizza. Well, they say that's where it comes from. Oh my God, pizza heaven. Yeah, I can probably deal with that. Remember, Jason, you got to do a pizza review for us from someplace. Got to have a good Italian pizza review. Now, I'll let you get some sleep first, but remember, you got to do a pizza review for me. Emily's with us. Hi, Emily. She's up there in New York. New York. So there's Jason, Emily. I show up at least once a week. By the way, Chillie, I have a amazing signal here without Wi-Fi. I want to know about that one. I feel like I have not seen you, Jason. Cindy Lee, did you have a favorite wine there? Any we can get here in the U.S.? Marissa's with us again. I tried to find your TikTok yesterday to watch your videos there, but couldn't. What is your tag? Hang on a minute. Let me jump over. I never can remember. I think it's Chillie's Cruises. Let me see. Yeah, Chillie's Cruises without an apostrophe. Just ChilliesCruises. Chillie's Cruises is the TikTok thingy. I'm not very good on TikTok. I do it much better on Instagram. I mean, as far as views and so forth go. But I'm a little slow to get for TikTok to get rolling for me. Trust me, ask Hot Air Tom. I'm here, and he gives me a hard time every time. Yeah, I know. That's Hot Air Tom, Jason. We got to put up with it. That's why Cindy walks around going, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him every day. I'm going to kill him. And Hot Air Tom just keeps on going. I love him. I love him. Jason says, I found Chillie's TikTok, but it won't let me follow him. It won't let you follow me. Why is that? Chillie is on TikTok, yes. Chianti is my favorite, Cindy says. I can find it in the Italian aisle at a Total Wine and More. Okay. Marisa, he said in the live yesterday he was, but I couldn't find him. Yeah, I'm there. And I thought he said he was. Or I thought he said, yes, I am. I'm in TikTok and I am on Instagram. And I'm working on both because my agent tells me I need to get better on both for the numbers. I don't know why Jason can't follow me. Do I have something set wrong? I have 114 followers. So somebody's been able to follow me. I'm looking at it right now and I don't see anything from my end. That's interesting. I'll have my guy take a look at that because I don't know. I'll find out, Jason, and let you know. Cindy says, we did a wine tasting in Tuscany. I wanted to have wine shipped home, but it was $95 to ship. Didn't do it. Yeah, I don't mind. It's Chillie Falls $3.98. What? On TikTok? Nah. Hang on. View profile. Settings. Energy count. I don't. You asked me something now I'm really confused about. I don't know anything about Chillie Falls 398 unless that something got changed that I don't know about. And I really don't know, Jason. Chillie Falls 398. I don't show that on my page at all. Let's see if what it shows on the phone. TikTok. Profile. At Chillie Falls. No, it's just at Chillie Falls. That's all. Honest. I wouldn't kid you. Anyway, yeah, it's just at Chillie Falls is the at Chillie Falls. That's not at ooh. All right. I got to get my technical guy to look at that to make sure I'm not screwed it up. I tend to screw things up, as some of you know, like that were on the show yesterday when I screwed up the audio. Marissa says, thanks. Anyway, Marissa, try Chillie Falls, Chillie's Cruises, or whatever Jason said, Chillie Falls 398. I don't know. I'll find out though. I use TikTok too, but I have not made many videos. I do watch TikTok while you're drinking wine. I know. I'm teasing Emily. Sonny says the wine tasting would be a must. Have fun. Had anyone tried Prosecco? I've had Prosecco before. I like it. I've seen people that drink 16 and then beg for more. No joke. I like Prosecco. We've gotten bottles of Prosecco here at the house before. One of Amanda's friends, my niece's friends, sells wine, commercially. So she's all the time getting really neat wines for us to taste. And I'm not a big wine guy. But I enjoy an occasional glass of wine with dinner. Nikki says, I wonder what the criteria are for determining whether a boarding passenger is potential trouble. I would imagine they're probably going to start having some kind of tie-in for security checks and things like that, looking for history of violence. I don't know. I don't know where you get into this whole privacy issue, and I'm sure there are going to be people that'll, go bonkers over that. On the same token, we never used to have brawls on cruise ships. I don't know. Anyway, that's just what went out. They haven't said anything other than the $500 fine bit publicly. This is what went to crew members, not to the public, just to crew members. Why 5:30 a.m.? Because of they are so busy in the evenings over there, and they're 6 hours ahead of us. No, 6 hours behind us. I'm sorry. So, if I do live, would be 5 o'clock at night. There you're getting into cocktail hour before dinner and entertainment and things. And they're doing all kinds of special stuff on these cruises between now and then the transatlantic. And Bubba says, look, the only time I've got to do this is really early for you. And I said, that's fine. I'm up early anyway. I just have to have my coffee a little bit earlier than normal, so I'm awake. But that's why, Emily. It was because of their schedules. And then, you're getting into the dinner hour, so the food and beverage manager wouldn't have been available, at 11 o'clock our time to do a live. So we got to talk to somebody that I don't get a chance to talk to very often. 9 a.m. still afternoon in Stockholm. I don't know, Emily, I don't know what, you don't understand what it's like for somebody of importance. Here you got Bubba, who created the drink a day for Holland America and you got the cruise and beverage manager. They say when they're available for an interview, I'm going to be there. So I'm not complaining about it. It's just that, my hours are different than y'all's most of the time anyway. I'm normally up at 4:00, so I'm checking on everything that's happened in Europe. It's just that I'm not normally awake enough to be on the air. I've started doing my research and stuff for the day. You must be tired. No, not yet. Now I might end up going to bed early tonight. Jason hasn't slept in over 24 hours. Yeah, that's what I figured. I can't sleep on airplanes. Never have been able to. So I'm up, all the way when I've flown across. And now, I've gotten so uncomfortable on airplanes, I sure can't sleep. Cindy says there was a competition where people who maxed out at 15 were trying to get us fellow Cheers package people to give them more at the casino bar on Conquest. Crazy. Yeah, they need to tighten things up. That's all. It's done at every bar in the United States. I mean, you can't drink to past where you're sensible. I don't know. Maybe some people would complain about it, but I sure wouldn't. I mean, do a reasonably priced drink package with a reasonable number of drinks per day. That's what you're allowed to have. And that would eliminate some of the problems. Jason says, I'm not tired at all. You have another account, Chillie, on TikTok. I'm going to have to find that. I just followed Chillie Cruises one. Okay, thank you. The Chillie 398 has a couple of followers, but no videos. I have no idea where that came from. That's a fake account. I'll have to go take care of that shortly. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. I sent you my screenshot from my Instagram. I'm already following you on Instagram. And I'm following you too, Emily. I've been following you on Instagram. Just went to Chillie Cruises on TikTok, but it's not Chillie's voice. Sure it is. I'm the only one that puts it. Did you take the space out of the middle of that? Chillie Cruises, no space in the middle. But it's not Chillie's voice. Yeah, all of mine are my voice. Honest. It is Chillie's videos. Did I do something with that? Did somebody else did voice? I don't think. There were a couple that speeded up a little and it sped my voice up some. Something is definitely wrong, Emily. Yes, I just checked Chillie 398 and it is not Chillie. NCL doesn't have a limit and they just manage the customers without problems. Yeah, that's all they need to do is manage folks. I don't know. I mean, back in my drinking days, when I used to, I had some pretty healthy bar bills, folks. I'm not hiding it. Back in my younger days, I might have $1,000 bar bill for a cruise. But I never got stupid drunk and caused fights. I just did things like, going down ridiculous 3-story water slides and losing my bathing suit and walking across the bar naked and sitting down on the bar stool and said, bartender, can I have another bourbon and Diet Coke, please? All right. That's going to wrap me up for today, folks. As always, thank you for being with me. I'll go check on TikTok and try to get it down to one account for the fat travel guy. So I don't know how to do that, but I'll see if I can't figure that one out. All right, guys. As always, if you're new to this channel, we do this silliness every day, 5 days a week. try to keep up with all the things that are happening in the cruise world on Saturday and Sunday as well. But always, thank you for being with me. We appreciate the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And hit that bell notification so you'll know when I go live or when a new video is up. That's it for today, guys. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time for Wednesday. No, today's Tuesday. Wednesday, travel and cruise industry news. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Maybe I do need that nap, Emily. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.